Well, if anybody is, we're having a brief press conference right now, but if anybody is waiting for the meeting to start, which the presentation won't be until 5:30, you're welcome to listen. My name is Scott Rogers. I'm with the West Central Wisconsin Rail Coalition. I'm the co-chair of that organization. I'll tell you about why we're here in just a moment. But we're going to have 5 or 6 people talk just a couple sentences about passenger rail for West Central Wisconsin. And when you look at the organizations and entities involved, it's going to be the business community. We have Ray Willoughby from Alliance Bank, Bob McCoy from the Chamber of Commerce, also the environmental interests represented. Barb Thomas, we think, from the Sierra Club will be here. We also have Jesse Auerbach from the Environmental Law and Policy Center. We have Shannon Nelson from Whisburg, and then Jackie Pavelski from the Eau Claire City Council, which passed a resolution last week. And we're just going to each make a brief statement about passenger rail and why we're interested in that. And one of the interesting things about our rail coalition and people interested in this is the fact that if you were to look at any other policy issue, public policy issue, other than passenger rail, you might not have the same group of people assembled. We might not agree on some things. But this is something for our community that we're unanimous on, and saying that for West Central Wisconsin, this is important to us and important to our economic future. Now, if you don't know what the West Central Wisconsin Rail Coalition is, we are a committee of an organization called Momentum West, which is a 10-county economic development organization. The theme of Momentum West is Choose West Wisconsin. We want people to choose this part of the state, to live here, to do business here, to visit and be tourists here. And we really emphasize 3 things. One is talent, another is technology, and another is transportation. And those are 3 important parts of being an economically vibrant community and economic region. Talent would be our great workforce, the fact that we have universities with 33,000 students in our area and higher education. Technology, we're closer than we ever were to anybody because of the internet. We're also part of the IQ technology corridor. And then finally, tying us to other parts of the state and other parts of the country. We have a great highway system. We know that demographic trends, economic trends, energy trends, environmental trends are really leading us to have high-speed rail in this country. It is going to happen in this country, and the big question is it going to happen for West Central Wisconsin? And so we think that's vitally important, and that's all I'm going to say, but that's what Momentum West is interested in, what the Rail Coalition is interested in. We have several other people who are just going to make brief statements about why this is important to our community. And the next person is Bob McCoy, who is President and CEO of the Eau Claire Chamber of Commerce. Bob?
Thank you, Scott. Well, the Chamber has been supportive of the opportunity for passenger rail service in Wisconsin since we started talking about it about 12 years ago. We firmly believe that if there's a route that's chosen for Wisconsin, that route needs to come up through the Chippewa Valley. Not that it couldn't go other places, but there's a huge population base in this area and a big connection to the Twin Cities. Additionally, the Chamber and many other entities have been working with organizations in Minneapolis, St. Paul, to look at transporting people between the Chippewa Valley and the Twin Cities. The DOT has told us that within 8 to 9 years, the interstate highway could be gridlocked. So something has to be done with transportation, and rail should certainly be one of those options that we look at to move people and commerce back and forth between the Twin Cities and the Chippewa Valley. And now I'd like to introduce Ray Willoughby. Ray's with Alliance Bank, but has also been very involved with the high-speed rail initiative.
Hi, I'm Ray Willoughby. I'm president of Alliance Bank, and I'm one of the people who were privileged to start this coalition back in 1999. Just to give you a little brief how this started, Rally in the Valley, you probably heard of. We went to Madison. We heard about a state rail plan. Eau Claire was not on that rail plan. We came back, a group of people. I was one of those fortunate people to be in that group that started this coalition to get rail through Eau Claire and down the I-94 corridor. We made a lot of progress, but we still have some progress to go. I want to talk a little bit about economic value. I'll just point out here as an example a conception drawing of a depot. think of the economic value of that. The feeder buses going out to the communities, the taxis taking people around town, the things that can grow up. It stops in Hudson, it could be the same thing in Hudson. So I would ask Governor-elect Walker to not rush to judgment, and let's get the state rail plan finished, let's get the studies finished, and let's look at the economics of this thing before we rush to judgment. So I challenge him to consider doing that rather than keep saying it's a dead deal, it's not going to happen. I think that would be very, very hurtful and not a good thing for Wisconsin. And with that, I'm going to pass it to
Shannon.
Shannon.
Shannon Nelson from
Shannon
Whisper.
Nelson from Whisper.
All right. Hi, I'm Shannon Nelson with WISPERG. WISPERG is the Wisconsin Public Interest Research Group. We're a statewide citizen-based consumer and public interest advocacy organization. And we represent thousands of members across the state of Wisconsin. Right now, high-speed rail is our top priority. The thing that we're hearing the most from our members is that we need to do something to get the economy back on track. And I think Ray really hit the nail on the head when he said that this is an opportunity for us to start doing that, bringing new investment into the state and creating the jobs that we need. Last night at the La Crosse public hearing, there was an overwhelming show of public support, and I'm sure we're going to see the same tonight here. So that tells me that the public is with us on this issue, but also is the business community, as Bob and Ray spoke to. I have in my hand, actually, the names of over 350 business owners across the proposed corridors from Milwaukee to the Twin Cities. All of these business owners have signed on in favor of high-speed rail because they understand that the project is an opportunity to bring new investment to their area, to bring in new clientele and customer base, and they're excited about it. So to not build high-speed rail would be a huge missed opportunity for Wisconsin. So with that, I want to introduce Jackie Pavelski.
Should bring you Barb.
Oh, pardon. Barb Thomas of Sierra Club.
Hello, everybody. I'm Barbara Thomas. I'm part of this rail group, but I'm also chairperson of the Chippewa Valley group of the Sierra Club, and I'm also on the state board of the Sierra Club. So I come to this with an environmental pitch that I like to be thinking about. Sierra Club, of course, the largest and most influential grassroots environmental organization in America. Founded in 1892, been around a little while. Over 100 years in America, always speaking on behalf of working to protect our precious environment, trying to get easy on the land and a kind of life led by John Muir and those folks back when who set the standard for living lightly on the land. My husband and I spent many years motorcycling. We tried to be easy on the land ourselves, so we traveled by motorcycle. It was good mileage, lots of good fun. We camped all over America, met great people, had wonderful times. Up to Canada, down to Mexico, had a really wonderful time on our bikes. We don't travel by bike anymore. 94 is absolutely no place for motorcycles. Bumper to bumper, sandwiched within cars, between cars and trucks, it's not a safe way to travel anymore. Impatient drivers, average speed, I'd say 75 maybe. Not cool on a motorcycle when you're hanging right out there. Often hard to enjoy the ride or to feel safe. We need the train because it will eliminate so many car trips, truck trips with the accompanying pollution, the loss of land, and threats to public health. We need to be more energy astute. Energy use is 10 times more efficient per passenger mile with rail than when compared to other routes of travel. We need the train to keep up with the advancements of other countries, to hold our own in a growing, complex world of travel, to get our kids to and from the university without the expense of buying them another car, insurance and parking, to get our kids to help them become citizens of the world, and to provide a safer travel for all citizens. Elders who no longer drive, business persons needing to work on their way to their job, persons who choose not to have a car, special needs persons who don't drive, and others. We can't just get stuck in yesterday's world when the rest of the world is traveling, offering fast, efficient rail travel, economically sound rail travel. Let's get this train going to better serve our citizens and the businesses. Just want to say one other thing. We have a son who was just 50 years old. 50 years ago, my mother hopped on a train in Aurora, Illinois, and came to visit this newborn grandson of hers when we lived in Menominee, the first time as students. 50 years ago, we were doing okay.
Sentence. This morning at our board meeting for Downtown Eau Claire Incorporated, we did pass a motion supporting the rail, the route through West Central Wisconsin, through Eau Claire to Minneapolis. We think it's very important, a vital mode of transportation. Coming from the urban area and the core center of downtown, we think it'll have great advantages for our urban area plus other urban areas in Wisconsin. And we are sending a letter to Governor-elect Scott Walker urging him to support this and to support the federal dollars and state dollars that would be invested in this.
And then finally, we have Jackie Pavelski, who is an at-large member of the Eau Claire City Council.
Hi, I'm Jackie Pavelski, representing the Eau Claire City Council, but also been a member of the Rail Coalition. I go way back as far as the Rail Coalition goes. I've been an advocate for high-speed passenger rail service for a very long time. And I want to say that I think from the City Council perspective, certainly providing mobility and choice are worthy goals. And providing transportation options was and is necessary to improve access to jobs, labor markets, moving goods and services, and encouraging economic development. I was one of the co-sponsors of a resolution that was passed last week unanimously by our Eau Claire City Council, supporting the continuation of high-speed rail service in Wisconsin. I really applaud their efforts. This is our second time we've done that. The first time was more or less approving a route. This one is, in fact, more about the need and the genuine need for rail as part of a balanced transportation system. So we appreciate all of you being here. I mean, it's an incredible amount of supporters, and we appreciate your being here. I am the one that's wrapping this up as far as our press conference goes. So please sign in, take the literature, and join us. And we want to thank Wisconsin DOT for taking this show on the road. And there has been a lot of interest, which we really applaud as well. And for many of us who remember the old 400, and I'm one of them, my grandparents used to come up from Chicago all the time by virtue of rail. So and the last train ran in 1963. So we're hoping this train runs again. Thank you.